you.
All right. Bang. Bang. It's golf Monday. Price is going to tell us what all we got. Another no-cut event. Last week, I said I didn't like no-cut events. My tournament lineups cashed and did really well. Then I played along with our cash core, Paul Casey, and the cash did not turn out as well, for me at least. But we are back here, going back to the California land. And we know my boy Cam Champ, who I was all in, paid off. Where you see all these two smucks over here grinning because they didn't play Camp Champ. Bryce, talk to me about the course.
Yes, master of Camp Champ. So we're at Sherwood Country Club in Cali. It's a little over 7,000 yards, another par 72, so you get 4 par 5s again. It's a Nicklaus course, so bent grass greens. It actually used to host the Tiger World Challenge for like 14 years, I believe. So there are going to be guys that actually have course history. There's about half the course has water on it. So watch out for Ryan Palmer. It is going to be large greens, so a little bit larger than normal, and they're going to be fast. They should run between 12.5 and 14 on the stimp meter. So you're going to have West Coast. And then, again, you have a no cut, so look for the typical guys who do well in them. And just like we said last week, some of these bottom half guys, like who you've never heard of, there's no reason to try and be cute and cram them into lineups just because it's no cut and you get 4 rounds. Because 4 rounds of trash doesn't help you at the end. But definitely look for some West Coast correlation. You got a couple of guys who really pop in the lower range. And then, of course, Dustin Johnson withdrew. Kuchar replaced him, I believe. And then have to keep an eye out on Jason Day, who withdrew in the beginning of round 4 on Sunday. So I've got to see what's going on with him. But that is it for this Sherwood Country Club.
Awesome. Dustin, what's your kind of first thoughts after build out your models, taking an early look, early dive? Anything sticking out for you?
I mean, it's kind of like, do you want to pay up for these top guys this week? I know last week Xander, obviously finished second.
Xander,
but Justin Thomas, I mean, he was up there, but not. I mean, he wasn't a hunt until Sunday, kind of faltered. Rory was in the 20s. Obviously DJ's not playing this week. So, and you got Rom as well. So to me, it's like, do you want to pay up for these guys? They've been playing okay, but they necessarily have been, just dominating, right? We're used to these guys dominating at certain times, like DJ did, at a certain point this year when he was finishing first and second after his 80s and missed cuts. But so it's I'm kind of in that boat where do I want to take a top heavy guy and build from there, or do I want to start down with somebody like Webb Simpson, who pops in my model, has been playing really good. I think his last had it pulled up. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, he's 13th, 8th, 12th, 6th, 3. That's his finishes in the past 5 tournaments. So I'm kind of leaning him as my top guy. And he's only 9,700, I believe. Yeah, 9,700. And so I feel like there's a lot of value there, and I can save, quite a bit if you look at Rom at 11,000 or Xander at 11,200. So that's kind of my early take on it. Obviously things change, but that's kind of how I'm leaning.
Yeah. I would say my biggest 3 players that I'm going to target is Xander, 11,200, highest priced. But I'm going back to the well. Price doesn't think that around the green is as important as me, but Jack Nicklaus courses, if you know anything about them, you have to be precise with your distance control. If you put the ball in the wrong spot, you can easily get some bogeys out there. So between around the green and And then you have Colin Kawa approach is number 1, right? T degree number 2. He always stands out in so many different par 5s, number 7. But I'm just off his train right now. So the top 3 that I'm looking at right now: Xander, Justin Thomas, who rates out number 1 in my model, number 2 around the green, and then going down to Dustin's man, Webb Simpson, who's number 2 in my model. So those are the 3 core guys up top that I'm going to be looking to play, at least early on. That's kind of where I'm at. Price, you going to play Rory again, or where you at on that?
I'm not.
He's due?
He is due. I mean, at some point, like, Jesus
how many
Christ.
times can you say the man's due?
We've said it all year.
All year.
I mean, look at last year. He had the stretch where he had like 18 top 10s in a row. Like, I don't get how you go from that to what he's doing now. But Justin Thomas would be the only 10K and up guy I'd look at this week. Everyone else, the rate's okay, but I'm 100% a firm believer in Xander's terrible iron play isn't going to stand up, and at some point he's going to regress on his putting. I know he's a Cali guy and does well in no cuts, but it's a hill I'm willing to die on this week when he's the highest priced golfer. I think he saved the 600 and go to JT.
So
go ahead.
I was going to say, here's an interesting stat, and what makes Rory so we think he's been playing terrible, right? 21st, 8th, 12th, his last 4. I mean, that's damn good, but
it's not Rory.
We want better, when we pay up for him, which is just, a nod to him and his game and where we know it can be. But it's just an interesting little tidbit I was going to throw in there.
I mean, with Xander, I don't know, Price. I think you're wrong on him with regards to even last week. Like, yes, he gained 6 strokes putting, but he also around the green +3, his approach +2.7, off the tee 2. I mean, he's doing fine. I don't necessarily think he's striking the ball that bad. He's not. I mean,
look at his
any
tournaments
strokes
leading up to it though, compared to his putting.
It's his putting. I mean, he's 7.1 strokes, 6.1, and 6.7 his last 3.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna finish in the top, he finished 5th in the U.S. Open, 2nd last week, and 2nd in the Tour Champions. If you're gonna finish that high, you're putting the ball well. I mean, look at Russell Henley.
He lost 5 strokes at the Memorial and still finished 13th.
Yeah, that means he knows how to put a round together.
No, he finished early on Sunday when everyone else had to face the harsh conditions and went backwards Sunday afternoon at the Memorial.
Bang, bang.
Well, bang, bang to U.S. Open, CJ Cup, Tour Championship. Like, at what point?
We can agree to disagree. You love Xander. I don't think he's worth being the highest priced golfer in the field.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I just think that
I don't think he's better than Rahm and JT.
But I will give it to Chris. He's on a little bit of a heater. 2nd, 5th, 2nd. I mean, putting, he's gaining over 6 strokes 3 rounds in a row.
I'll give Chris's analogy from football. If Lamar Jackson's going to beat me, he's going to beat me. If Xander's going to beat me, he's going to beat me. I'm just not going to use him.
Lamar did beat me last week.
I know I used him. But moving down to the 9K range, the only 3 guys who I like are Tiger, Patrick Reed, and Tony Finau.
Wow, you're just going to skip over the best golfer in that range and Webb Simpson?
I am going to skip Webb this week.
Oh, wow.
Price is just like his dad. It's just, if y'all knew Price growing up like I did, he's just like his damn dad. Did you hear that last little tidbit, like little punch in the gut, and then he goes into the 9K range? Just like his dad. All right, go ahead. Why are you fading Webb Simpson?
I want to use Patrick Reed instead.
That's my soft spot. So you knew I wasn't going to give you any hell about Patrick Reed.
Reed and Finau rate out better for me than Webb does.
Mr. COVID himself?
He's back. You know what he's been doing on the break? Just hitting balls, getting ready.
All right, Webb Simpson's number 2 in my model. Like what? Birdies are better 1. DraftKings points 1. Putting 6.
He's 35th in mine.
Well,
He's third in mine, Chris. So
God, whose model's broken?
I don't know.
Who's
Maybe
number
the 2
1 in
football
yours,
guys.
Who's number 1?
All
Well,
right.
Hey, we'll see. Hey, friendly wager on who finishes higher between
Patrick
Webb
Reed
and
or
Finau?
Webb?
No,
Oh,
I'll take Finau.
No, you said Patrick Reed.
Okay,
That's fine.
I'll take either
take,
one. I'll take them both. I don't give a fuck.
All right. Well, then let me take also my boy Xander. So 2v2, Xander.
Yes, let's take the highest price guy in the fucking field.
Oh,
but he doesn't deserve
but his iron game is
I'll take
horrible.
JT versus Schauffele and Reed versus Webb.
No, JT. No,
Okay.
absolutely not. JT's
I'll take-
underpriced,
I'll
100%.
take Rom and Simpson.
Did you not hear me say I'm playing Raw? I'm playing JT also with Xander and Webb
Well, okay. All right.
because I'm playing
you
guys like
playing?
Champ, baby, Champ.
No, you gotta go lower the champ.
I got 3 champs up my sleeve. Relax.
You gotta go 2
All right. So Webb Simpson versus Patrick Reed.
Yes, Webb Simpson versus Patrick Reed.
What are we betting?
Hot chip challenge, baby.
Fuck no.
Hot chip challenge. If I win, you have to eat that motherfucking chip.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't. No, it's not happening. I'll put a regular peanut into my mouth and be like, oh, real hot.
I'll do it,
Come on,
with
bro.
you guys. I'll do it.
All right.
Hot chip challenge.
Hot chip challenge.
Webb Simpson, you mother effer. Come on.
All right.
Draw.
Well, we like to have fun around here, but if you want the analytical side of everything, go to dfsdads.com. We got our first look out already, but the big key is the deep dive where you go into deep analytics of who you should play right before you need to start making your lineups. You also have our quick access page. Dustin showed that to you on the recap video of last week. So we give you a cash core of 4 golfers that it makes sense, not just the top 4 golfers that would make sense in a lineup. And you can head on to the Slack. You can join us, submit your lineup, let us know what your lineup is. If you have any questions, we can help finish out those lineups for you. And lastly, make sure to DM Price in the Slack all of your lineup questions. He is the most free dad of us 3. So smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It loves when you smash that like button. Subscribe to us, DFS Dads, at Facebook and Twitter. Let's not fully move out of the 9K range, because what about on these no cut events? Like Hovland always starts out slow in every tournament, and he plays well and he finishes well and gives you points.
He rates out decent.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do the 20 lineups again, and I have to make decisions on who I want to play here. So I can't play all of them. So I have to cut it down to playing 3 people in the 9K range. And he's just not there for me.
I mean, if you're cutting down and you're going to put 3 people in the 9K range and you're leaving out the best 9K range guy in Webb Simpson, like I'm just confused. All right. So who's your 3? Finau, Reed, and Tiger.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't deny, you putting the best golfer in the history of golf in your top 3.
That's pretty high praise for Finau.
I was talking about Patrick Reed.
Oh, well.
All right. Dustin, any pushback on anything in particular Price said?
No pushback. Patrick Reed actually ranks pretty well in my model, 13th. So it's not like I think it's a bad play. I think Webb Simpson's in a better spot personally, but obviously the hot chip will tell. Another guy I'm looking at, and I played him last week, is Matt's. The dude could just get the flat stick rolling.
He'll never get it rolling.
He will.
I've played DFS golf for 4 years, and he's never gotten the flat stick rolling.
It's his last tournament win, 2017, I believe.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Yes. He didn't even gain strokes putting there, probably.
Well, look, here's the funny thing.
I bet he did. Just like Xander doesn't gain strokes off the tee or around the green or putting or whatever.
Well, here's this little tidbit for you. So the CJ Cup, he gained strokes basically everywhere. Lost 2 on the surface, putting surface. The week before at the Shriners, he was terrible at everything else and actually gained 2.5 strokes putting.
He did. I'm looking at it. Holy cow.
Like, what the hell? So
Oh god.
like, man, can you just flip just the putting, and so in an event, a no-cut event like that, he's somebody that his all his other game is really good. So it's kind of like, just maybe play. I mean, he's not going to do terrible, right? And so it's just kind of like you hope that maybe he gets hot with the putting stick, and next thing you know, he's running away with it. So, he's priced at a good spot to where you can fit him in, 9,300. And I think he has a lot of upside. So another guy I'm looking at, Cantlay let me down last week. Not really on him. Hovland, I think, is another good one. He did pretty good last week. I think him and Matt's, I had them both, obviously, for a cash core, and I think they were 0.5 difference all week. So kind of right there with each other. Yeah. One guy y'all haven't mentioned is Matthew Wolff.
I was just about to talk about him. He lost 13.6 strokes last week.
Well, that's a bad week.
Yeah, I touched on him in the first look, because basically the first look, I just go scroll by salaries and figure out who actually looks good just based on normal metrics. And I mean, Wolff, all of us love to play him, and he'd been playing so well until last week. So you would expect him to bounce back.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not going to lose 12.5 strokes tee to green ever again. That's a complete anomaly.
I love playing Hovland.
If it messes with his head.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? When you lose that many strokes, it's like, it's kind of like the Chuck Knobloch. If y'all remember, when you stopped being able to throw it to freaking first base from second base. Like, I mean, you get something in your head like that, and especially we've all played golf. We know how it is. It's like, you really want to play a guy after a round like that?
To me, Wolff is not like that. At least from seeing his interactions, his interviews and stuff, he seems like just a young kid who is just having fun out there and doesn't take it that seriously and overthink stuff. So to me, he's not like a Justin Rose who I feel like overthinks things.
I'm not
worried about it.
For my last cutout, it's more than likely got to come to me playing 2 of the 3 between Wolff, Tiger, or Berger. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to play Tiger. I just don't know if it'll be Berger or Wolff for the last person in this price range.
I mean, Berger's kind of he was really, really good, and then he's just kind of been
Yeah.
I
know he rates out better than the guys he's right above for me.
Yeah, I mean, for his price point, I think there's a ton of upside because
I guess I could go to Harris English, but it's
a lot of money.
I know. And then Bubba price jumped so much.
It's so crazy. Bubba and Kokrak like players that we liked at 6.8 to 7.3K.
How many times have we played Bubba this year when he's 7,000 range and he's paid off for us?
Every time.
And so it's like, dang, I wish he was still down there. But
and same thing with Neiman this week. Neiman jumped up $1,000 too.
Yep.
You know who keeps falling down? Scotty.
Number 1 in my model.
8,200. I think you moved him up in your model. I don't think he's actually number 1.
I sort by Scotty being the first name for ranking, so he's number 1.
What's back-to-back bad weeks though?
Yeah.
Remember
Tommy
3 months ago when I talked about him and you're like, he's playing so bad. When it clicks, it clicks with him.
Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood is a price favorite who he hasn't really talked about since COVID.
He hasn't played well.
Played twice, I think.
He had one good tournament in Europe, and he choked and didn't win, which is typical for Tommy. But, I mean...
he just hasn't been good.
No, his last 4 are 59th, 44th, miscut, 59th.
And he's losing strokes everywhere except for the putting surface.
So, I don't know what happened to his game, but it's not where it used to be. And him being 8,500 is stupid.
Yeah, especially when you go down below, some of these players are just really good.
Like, I think Neiman will smash him head to head this week. And Scotty for sure will smash him head to head. But again, I can only pick like 2 to 3 people in this range with how I'm building. So it's going to be Scotty, Neiman, and one of the guys at the top end.
Yeah, this is a weird pricing because you have some guys here in the 8K range that usually are flip-flopped with the guys that are in the 7K range.
Exactly.
Yep.
You look down there, you got Day, Fowler, Casey, Rose, Woodland, Scott.
It's strange.
Yep. And then like players like Billy Ho too is interesting at 7,400. I feel like I made a few builds today just to kind of figure out where I was going to fall with my last couple golfers and what sacrifices I need to make. And from 74 to 7,200 was where both of those were falling. And trying to figure out who I like in that range from 7,400 to like 7,200, 7,100. What do you think, Price, from that lower 7K range? Is there someone that really stands out to you?
There's 2. So Palmer rates out high, Munoz rates out high for me again, and Horschel rates out top 10. And I will say Rose being 7,400, I really want to click him.
I know.
Because he's better than that. He's 100% better than that.
What about Gary Woodland? This course is kind of like Pebble Beach, some correlation there. Won the US Open 2 years ago there.
He just did so bad last week. I mean,
7,300 though.
He lost 11 strokes off the tee. 11.
It's kind of impressive, isn't it?
That is impressive.
Him and Wolf were going at it.
They're like, who can hit the ball worse off the fucking tee? And Woodland decided to go ahead and win. Because he hasn't been right since the restart, really. Then he had his hurt hip, so he missed a while. Then he came back and just played awful last week. Even with it being a no cut, I don't think it's worth it to try and use him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The Justin Rose one is very interesting. To me, he's so up and down. Like he was playing horrible. Lost the workday 9 strokes, then the Memorial 2 strokes, missed cut for both of those, and everyone was fading him. And then a month later, he comes out in the PGA Championship and he gets 9th and gains almost 12 strokes. So, and once again, the last 2 events, he's lost 2 and 3 strokes. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you don't play him because he's been really streaky.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. Yeah, I'll skip over one of the guys I really like this weekend because he's upper 7, but Adam Scott. He ranks out.
Price is smiling.
Second.
I'm not using him though.
Price is smiling.
Second in my model. I mean, he hasn't played bad. He hasn't played great, but I mean, he's got a 25th at the BMW and a 38th at the Open.
What about the guy below him?
I did pretty well. Answer?
Yep.
Is he the answer this week?
Oh, I see what you said.
Oh.
Where's the sound effects, Price? We need those.
I haven't figured out this soundboard yet.
I mean, I have no problems with answer, but I think Scott's better this week.
Sounds like we have another head-to-head coming. We've already doing the chip challenge. What's next?
I'm not doing the chip challenge.
We know you're not doing the chip challenge, you little baby. That's why I'm talking to Dustin.
We're going to send you a pacifier and a bottle of milk.
Dipped in ghost pepper.
Make sure it's whole milk. No. Stop. All right, let's get down. Price's guy, Gooch, right? Wait, talk to me there. 7,100. Gooch, Palmer. Where you at? Todd at 7K. Talk to me about, and then we'll talk about your guy. No, Palmer over Gooch. Why over Gooch?
He rates out 52 spots higher in my model.
But there's water.
Mine too.
I know, but how often is Chalk Gooch going to hit when he hit last week at 6,200? People are going to go back to him, and he's not going to work out.
Okay. What
That's just
about
how it works.
What about Brendan Todd on a shorter course?
I would rather play Lanto than Todd.
Why?
Talk about Todd. He always
I like
brings us.
Lanto Todd a lot, or Lanto Griffin a lot.
There's no such thing as Lanto Todd.
Lanto Todd.
That might be a hell of a mix.
I mean, so look at Lanto in the last 3 months.
Lanto Todd, or are we talking which Lanto are we talking about?
Griffin has one miscut, and he finished 7th last week, 43rd at the U.S. Open, 18th at the Tour Champ, 10 at BMW, 58, 19th at the PGA, 44th at the Memorial.
You just skipped over both miscuts.
One. I'm just saying, he usually does well in stronger field events like the majors and WGCs and no-cut events. And he's just coming off a top 10.
And he's putting really well.
All right, time to change my lineups.
And he's another guy who did awesome on the Corn Ferry Tour and finally got his tour card and had a shit ton of top 25s last year.
All right, sold. Let's move on. All right, Spieth, 6,900. He's number one. I know Price doesn't care about around the green, but he's number one around the green.
I'm waiting to hear who cares about that.
Well, you like Jordan Spieth, don't you?
I do this week.
Okay.
And I hate Jordan Spieth so much. He's
Eyes of Texas are upon.
I never liked him. I think he's a whiny little brat who throws temper tantrums and blames his caddy for everything, even when he's the one hitting the goddamn club.
Facts.
Is it the rich Dallas kid?
That went to Plano West. Yeah. I don't know where he went to school.
He rates out well, and he actually did well on the weekend. He had a ton of birdies.
He always does. It's just
I know. So usually the problem is like he sucks on the weekend. He's usually like good Thursday, mediocre Friday, and then falls apart. But he actually did well the weekend. So I'm just going to hope that stays riding.
What about a better version of Jordan Spieth? Kevin Kisner.
No. He doesn't rate out as high for me. He's the only thing he rates out well in is putting.
Yep.
All right.
If
I'm
going to gamble, I'm going to go to your boy Cam Champ this week.
Talk to me. Besides, it's the California.
He rates out 16th in my model.
Facts. I love your models now. Good. All right, good.
Put in the overhyped by Chris stat at 80%, and he got up to the top.
Yeah.
Off the tee, number one. DraftKings points, 6th. Par 5, 4th. Cam Champ, lock and load, 6,800. If you like money, you play Cam Champ on a West Coast California event. All right, let's move down. Where else we got? Where's your glitch plays down here?
Like Hadwin.
Justin.
Hadwin, Long, some intriguing plays.
I can't. Mark Leishman is 6,600. Oh my gosh, he has fallen off the cliff. He has fallen off a cliff. Holy smacks! He lost 22 strokes at the BMW a few weeks ago.
That's why
he would have missed the cut if there was a cut.
I mean, he's literally lost probably 40 strokes the past 5 tournaments. I mean, that's terrible.
I'd rather use Streelman or Steele.
Oh, so listen, we don't want you to play Mark Leishman, okay? Don't take that as we're considering him. We're not.
He actually rates out 20th in my model, but I'm not going to play him.
He's been in my model, but holy crap, has he been bad?
That's where we've talked about a couple of times where you can't just go based on the model. You got to account for other things like how he's actually been playing. So yes, he's ranked up that high because he has done decent tee to green and has okay off the tee and okay par 5 scoring. But other than that, I mean, he's playing awful.
Yep.
Adam Long rates out well for me, but I think the go-tos here would be Streels, Steele, and Dahlman. And then if you want to go super cheap, Michael Thompson, 6,100.
Fratelli is interesting as well at 63.
I thought so initially before I plug in anything, it's just straight, strokes gained on the different categories. He rated out a lot higher, but for me, he kind of drops out. His
putting. Holy smokes!
He's 65th for me.
He hasn't been playing well either.
Yeah,
but also like Tyler Duncan, he's another good cheap guy. He did really well like 2 weeks ago for us. But I think there's a couple spots you can attack here. It's so strange seeing Spieth, Kuchar, Leishman down in the 6K range.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You can put 3 top heavy guys and still play 3 6K guys that you're like, you can make that lineup because there's that low.
I think Wawrinski's an interesting play here.
If he gets his putter going, he's pretty damn good.
He has. I mean, he has one bad week at the Shriners where he missed the cut, where he lost strokes putting. But the past, I think, 6 tournaments, he's gained strokes, and he was really good on approach last week. He finished 28th at the CJ. But he's kind of been all over. He had 20th at the BMW, then a missed cut, 59th missed cut, 28th. So it's like you just never know what you're going to get, and that's why he's 6,300. But a guy that's proven a little bit that he can at least, hang up there at times. So if you have to drop this low, which if I'm dropping this low, I'm gonna pretty much go with Streelman at 6,600.
Or if you want to be crazy, you could use Sean Norris.
What's the argument for Sean Norris?
The only argument is because they won't show him on TV because he's a South African who just does whatever the hell he wants. He dips and smokes and swears, so they never show him on TV. But it's like I think it's a couple majors where he's come out well on Thursdays and then kind of faded. I probably won't use him, but I mean, someone who can do that, he did it at Harding Park and at Wingfoot. He came out and played well the first day and then just kind of fell apart on Friday. But at least you don't have to worry about him missing the cut.
Have you looked at any bets yet, Price?
Scotty's 50-1.
Ooh.
I feel like that's pretty good odds on him.
Cool.
That's about it.
All right. I think that about wraps up the PGA podcast. Once again, check us out. What's your great outro, Price? Send us out.
I don't remember what I said.
It was really good though.
I honestly don't remember, bro. After this weekend of work where I was by myself for 25 hours at work, my brain is not functioning.
All right. Let's go make some money.
I said, see you soon.
No, you did not. All right, let's go make some money.
Yeah.
That much better.